So I'll just say something, whatever, and then we'll just have an exchange about it, or not. We'll see. So just for introduction's sake, I decided to have my first non-duality talk in the park today. Posted it up like around town and on Facebook, whatever, about a week ago, and just seeing who showed up. And I just really enjoy talking about this stuff, and most people want to punch me in the face when I do talk about this stuff. So I thought I would like to just put it out there so people who come here would want to talk about this stuff. So hopefully they won't punch me in the face. And this is the first talk. I didn't really promote it so much because I wasn't sure that I really wanted to do it or anybody to show up. And nobody showed up except my sidekick, lovely friend Cheryl. So we're here having a chat about what is so-called non-duality. So,
but
anyway,
she won't let me punch her in the face.
I'm not stopping you, but I'm also not encouraging you. I don't think I'd like how that feels, but anyway, who knows? Maybe I do. Anyway, side tangent. We'll do a Fight Club video next. Anyway, so I guess how to start something that is so impossible to talk about is to first of all allude to that or point to that non-duality is not a thing. It's impossible to talk about it because anything that is said about it is it. You know what I mean? It's like it's talking about, or it's just pointing to the fact that this is it. This is it. That's it. It's everything. So these ideas that come, or concepts that come attached to the non-duality concept about the no self or the self dropping away, that's also it. It's everything. So there's nothing that can be see, I sound like I'm talking like a 3-year-old trying to talk about physics or something, and that's what it's like. It's also the most simple, ordinary thing because it's everything. It's just this. It's just, there's no separation. It's complete and full, and it's the table, it's the voice talking, it's the character that's presenting, it's the hands moving, it's the tree, it's the listening, it's the bubbly water. It's everything, and there is nothing that isn't it. So nothing has more importance or less importance or any importance whatsoever, because this is just apparently happening for absolutely no reason whatsoever, or for a reason that can't be known. So what this is that actually appears as a person speaking, or a person that thinks it's a person making choices and decisions, or a person that's lost their eye, and it's all it. And what that is absolutely unknowable. It cannot be known, because in order for it to be known, there has to be something outside of it that knows it. So everything that is within that, all the apparent knowledge, people who think they know how things work, people who think that they make things happen or whatever, all that is just the isness appearing as that. It's constantly appearing and imploding and exploding upon itself, because there is never anything but this. So if you say, okay, there's a past, there is no past, there is no future. There's only the thought of a past appearing in this moment. And this moment never ends. if you call it now, be here now, it's like, what is now? When does now start and when does it end? When does it become the past, when it becomes the future? So it's just this isness appearing as whatever is. And it's also a not happening, which is a total mind fuck, you know? I don't like to give it any names. I've watched so much non-duality stuff, and I love listening to that stuff, and I could just as well be listening to like fucking rap music or cartoons or Donna Summer songs because it's all the same. It's all the same thing. But I just apparently am doing that because this character likes it, and
when you say I, there's no real I.
there is no separate person from everything that is making choices and having a cause and effect and having any influence or control over anything that is appearing or happening. So here it is seen that is not there. It's just seen that it's not there, but it's also not there or anywhere. There is no separate I anywhere. However, if a person feels like they're separate and they are in control of their lives and creating by thinking the right thoughts or eating the right foods, that is just the isness appearing as that. It's the same thing, so it doesn't really matter. But in the end, it just means, or in the beginning, wow, beautiful dog, Siberian Husky, blue eyes. See, that's... So, it's something that, what happens, and again, everything that is said or done or is or appears is it. So if I'm trying to sell you Christianity right now in the afterlife and hell and say you need to do this to get there, that's also isness appearing as that. What appears to be happening here is that the nature of reality, for lack of a better word, or of what it is it's been seen, and what happens there is not, oh, I know what this is all about. It's like everything is completely unknown. There is nothing that can be known because it's constantly like bam, bam, bam. And it's also seeing that it is all it.
So who's seeing it?
Nobody. And that's also why the language is so difficult, because you can't talk about this because words are within what this is, or is this being words. So all that's happening here is, it's not a person who knows this and is saying this, or a person who's saying that knows nothing. It's just the absolute expressing itself in this appearance of a voice in this character, mind, body, whatever, that is saying it knows nothing. And it's exactly the same over there or anywhere, and it would be exactly the same if you have somebody saying you're fucking crazy and you're going to hell because you believe that this is not real and there's no God and there is God, and you know what I'm saying? Like, everything is it. You can't escape it. So I think why seekers or searchers come to this message, which is how I apparently came to this message or whatever, I didn't do anything, it just happened. There's nothing that anybody can do because there is nobody. It's just what's apparently happening. Is because finding that fulfillment, that place where you're finally at peace and you're finally like done with the struggles and the da-da-da. And what came from that, or no, that's not how it works either. It's just it's a mindfuck. What happened is that it is seen that there's nowhere to go because it's right, there's no in front, there's no in back, there's no under and over, there's nothing to do, there's nothing that matters. It's just poof, appearing. Like cotton candy, man. Cotton candy is like air, and it just comes out of nowhere and dissolves into nothing. It's like this, like poof. It's amazing, and it's a total fucking mind fuck, and it's unknowable. And when, if or whatever, it doesn't matter, because the seeing of that here or the not seeing of it ever anywhere is it as well. So there's no separation. It's not like, so this is just happening, and we could just as well be talking about underwear or Donna Summer, but the paradox is that we're talking about it's not important. It doesn't matter. It's not like we're figuring anything out or changing anything or making things better. It's just this happening. Voila. That was my introduction, I guess.
Introduction.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay, so what about feelings and emotions?
Those are just appearing. That's the thing, like when they're, it's just life. And I don't even like to call it, some non-dualists call it energy. Like they talk about the contracted, the individual that thinks it's a separate I is a contracted energy that's in. All of that stuff is just conceptual. Even the idea that it's energy, because it's like energy is a known thing in the dream, in the appearances. We know, we can, just like if you say it's unconditional love, you can know love, but you can't know unconditional love. I mean, it's still just words and concepts that the mind, latches onto and thinks it can know or thinks it can reach or do something with. That's why there are no words for it, not even non-duality or anything. There are no ways to explain it, of why there's a contracted I or a contracted energy that thinks it's a separate self. That's all blah blah blah, which is isness being that. So anyway, I call it isness, thisness, whatever, because what is it? Nobody knows. Nobody will ever know. Nothing can know. It is it. Emotions, feelings, thoughts are just appearing in that. The difference, and it doesn't matter either way, not one is right and one is wrong, one is freer, one is less free, one is an I, one isn't an I. That's all blah blah blah. The difference is it's just appearing as like seeing that it's just a thought, it's just a feeling. It's not my feeling anymore. It used to be when I thought I was an individual and I could do things or I tried to do things to change feelings or to get the emotions that I prefer. Now there's nobody there. There's nobody there either. It's just, oh, this happened and made you feel this.
So there's,
just
as
appearing.
A non-dualist, there are still...
Don't you fucking label me. No, I'm just kidding.
Yep. There are still emotions and feelings that come up.
There's nothing that doesn't happen.
But it's not, but that's just more isness.
It's isness.
It's not Giselle doing anything because Giselle isn't
and
there.
And it is seeing that that's how it is everywhere. If you all of a sudden punch me in the face because you're angry at me, it would just be the experience of getting punched in the face. What changes is that there's no story behind it anymore. It's like there's anger there, and the anger comes out as a punch. There's a punch felt, and there whatever reaction that creates. It's just happening. Nobody's doing it. Nobody's doing it there. Nobody's causing it. Nobody's making the wrong choice that led to that. It's just what's appearing, and anything can appear. So what used to be seen as a mundane kind of world where you fucking get old and you work 9 to 5 or whatever you do, and the boringness is now shifted which is also isness appearing as that, but now it's shifted because that has somehow, whatever, has just come kind of separated from that, or seen it, and it's, everything is super ordinary and simple, but absolutely mind fucking blowing amazing at the same time, because it's happening. So you think, oh, this is a solid thing and time goes like this, and it's like, no, nothing is happening. It's just appearing to happen, and it's actually appearing as you holding a cup, having a smoke, me talking this table, the birds, it's like, what is this, and how is this even happening, you know, like, and then it just, so every single moment which is outside of time is this, and that's all there is. However, there's the appearance of time, you know, and it's just like crazy, like that is also something that appears to happen, that somebody can think, I was born on this day and now I'm this old and I've done this for all these years in my life and I'm gonna do this tomorrow, and think that it's actually a real thing, and that they're doing it, and that it's real cause and effect, whatever. That's also like super amazing. When that falls away, it's just like everything is just poof, right.
So there is no cause and effect.
No, there's the appearance of that, but the truth is, it's just happening, and not. And that's why nothing matters. That's why, and I don't mean that in I don't mean that in any way, but it's not like this, you know, that's something that an individual who's like, what do you mean nothing matters? Like, because their story is important and everything is about their life. And that's the thing, there is no their life, there is no your life, it's just life. Appearing as this, like, do you think your dog knows, or cat knows, I was thinking of Trace when I said dog, you know, when they were born and they're like, I'm 10 years old today and da da da, it's just, you can see it in animals, you know, a little bit more, that it's just happening, you know, and there appears to be in animals as well as humans, you know, a memory. I've witnessed it today, which it was really surprising to me that dogs have memories. I mean, but
The appearance of memory.
it's just what's happening in that moment, which in that moment it's like, oh, that's a memory that's causing them to do that or whatever, you know, but it's not real, and it is real. And that's why it's so unknowable, because the mind can know, okay, it's all an illusion, it's not real, there's no I, blah, blah, blah. Or I can know, no, this is fucking real, and everything's happening, and it's real, and I'm here, and I've made my life, and da da da. It can't really understand, ever know what it means or unmeans to be real and not real at the same time. Because there's the appearance of real, there's the appearance that you were born somewhere and you have this history and it's led you to this moment sitting here with me talking like this, and we have this whole history and da da da. None of that happens. It's just happening right now.
So when you witnessed, for lack of better words, the dog having a memory, the dog doesn't think this is a memory.
Right.
The dog is just
doing that.
whatever it is doing because
right,
that's what they do.
And that's a very human thing, right? To project. And I always have this argument, or not argument, but this, I don't know, this thought, or this, like, it is everything. So as a human, to know what dogs, or to think we know what dogs, like the fact that they know that dogs, or they say dogs are colorblind, I'm like,
how do they know that? You don't.
And it's true, and it's not true, you know, and it doesn't matter. That's the beauty of it, you know, it doesn't matter. It's just like everything that can be said about anything is just a story. The only thing that we know for sure, that we can say for sure, at least in this moment, is that it's a table, there's a body here, there's a voice speaking, there's a body
Well,
there.
there's an appearance of the table,
Right.
the body.
Right. And another thing about non-duality is that a lot of it is saying that it's nothing appearing as everything, so it's empty fullness, and all these paradoxes that can't be understood here. I even say, like, how do we even know it's nothing appearing as everything? I mean, there's no name for it. It can't be known. It could be the absolute. I like the absolute or I like infinity because that's ungraspable for anything that is appearance.
But that's just another word.
But so there is no. As soon as the words come, it's the isness, the infinity, the absolute appearing as a word, trying to describe itself, or even I don't even know if it's doing that. Who knows what it's doing? It doesn't. But what it does to this appearance is it makes it alive and free and chaotic, appearing as order, separateness, wholeness appearing as separateness. Like, it does appear. I mean, that tree is separate, and this table is separate, and this cigarette is separate from me. But it's not. It's the same isness appearing as these things.
So would you say there's a faith, that you have faith in the unknowing? Or there's no faith because that's just another
I think
label?
faith is a story. I think faith is a human story. Like, you just believe something because, and it's not even a belief. You know, if somebody, it's not anything. Which is why it's such a mind fuck. It's not anything and it's everything. So yeah, it can be faith. It can be, faith is a label. And it's all happening at the same time, and not happening. So but that kind of confuses it a little, happening and not happening. That, I don't know, that comes up and that floats your boat, great. I know it did float my boat for a while, but what's happening is just what's happening, and that's it. And so any story about it is seen as just a story, you know? Like, even relationships, like, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, and that all just is seen as a story. What's happening is, and not even now it's not even, if I go home and when I go home and there's my kid and my husband, what's happening is just three people, apparently, you know, being together.
But right at this moment, you are not a wife or a mother.
Exactly.
Because
and
that's just a story anyways.
It's a story anyway. And even
and there's
when
no you anyways.
Right, it's just life appearing as that. So I guess when it is seen that there is no separate I, it is seen, I hate hearing that, but that's what's coming out anyway, because it's like, it is seen by what? That's, you know, I don't know. Nothing. It's seen by nothing. Nobody. But, so we can talk about that, you know, if my son was here, then all of a sudden it's not happening that way anymore, you know, like, oh, there's my son and I have to behave this way or whatever. It's just whatever happens because it's what's happening, and he's doing it, I'm doing it, you're doing it, you know what I mean?
But none of us are really doing it.
No, that's what I mean. It's happening. It's just happening. Absolutely. And the story falls away now. And if a story comes up, because most people are very much separate individuals, living their lives, going for stuff, seeking for things. Good is that, bad is that, success is that, failure is that. So you can't go around talking like this. Well, you're not in control of it anyway, but it doesn't seem to happen just because that's not what life's doing. So what it's doing, it's engaging in conversation, it's engaging in stories. It's talking about whatever's being talked about, whatever's happening is happening. You know, a flat tire happens, and headaches happen, hangovers happen. I thought, when I become enlightened, I'm never gonna have a hangover again. Bullshit.
But it's not about being enlightened.
There is no such thing. There's no such thing. Although there is in the story. there's the appearance, but it's all bullshit. There's nothing. It's just life appearing as that. And a lot of the non-dualists like bash this spiritual thing because it appears in this story it is seeking for that ultimate thing, and it's all it. There is no ultimate thing. There is nowhere to go. There is no you doing it. So I kind of have a little bit more, I don't know what the right word is, like acceptance for that, just because it's the same thing doing it. It's not any different than somebody talking about non-duality, or somebody talking about Christianity, or somebody, you know, saving the world by trying to end hunger or beating their freaking wife and children. It's all it, you know?
And none of it's good or bad. It just is.
And none of it matters. None of it matters.
So then how do you go through life with nothing mattering?
There is no you going through life. And by saying nothing matters, I mean, life is just happening and not. But like...
So there really is no life because there's only right this moment.
That's the other thing that like even calling it life is already
putting
not
a story
not
to
it. Yes, because that implies death. So I think the only word that resonates with me is isness. And what it is, who knows?
And it doesn't really resonate with you because there is no you.
Right. But in this expression of whatever's coming out, isness seems to not imply anything and everything. So there is no going through life. See, a lot of the arguments or things that I've heard in the past, or whatever, in the non-past, that doesn't happen. Well, if there's nobody there, that's all fine and dandy for a concept, but who's going to pay the bills and and it's like, there already is nobody there. And it's happening. And the bills get paid or they don't get paid. But there's nothing that, all of a sudden you realize, this is everything, nothing matters, and I'm just going to start whatever, fucking off. And it's like, it's always been that. So things might appear to change, but it's not because of anything that's happened or has been realized or that you've done. It's just life appearing that way, or isness appearing that way.
In that moment.
That is constantly...
Which is also a horrible word.
No, it's not. I mean, we have to use something. I mean, I don't call it the now because the now implies time, even though time appears. But a moment there's only moments. It's such a mindfuck, and it's so amazing.
Is this a mindfuck, Giselle?
Sorry, I said that a million times. So it's, when I was a kid, apparently, I used to have this thought that used to drive me nuts, like, I used to ponder the concept or the isness of nothing. Like, if there's nothing, like, the mind, my little child brain would implode on itself, and it still does, because there has to be a something to know that there's a nothing, or there has to be a space or something for nothing to be in. And what I think I've realized, but it's unknowable, because that's what it is, and we can't grasp it here. Nothing can grasp it because it's nothing, and that's just relaxing in the unknowing of it. And one of the things that I've heard in this non-duality talk that I really resonate with again, it's like the separate individual is trapped in the loop of their knowledge. It's like the knowledge of anything, and the knowledge of how the world, the Big Bang or God or whatever, the knowledge of like I was born and I went to school and learned that, and that's why I'm here doing this job, and it's if I don't do that, it's gonna go there. But that's not it. It's just happening, and when that knowledge just
slow down.
Exactly, and then there's just not knowing, and no fear of the unknown. I mean, if that's how it's set up, like
if there's no you, there is no fear
of anything really, because it's just happening, and anything can happen, like it has, apparently.
And it's all apparent because nothing really exists.
It's not. Nothing is really happening. I mean, the closest metaphor that we can maybe grasp with our human minds is a dream. I mean, I'm sure you've had dreams, and all of us have had dreams, which is kind of like a little clue to this reality, unreality. You know, you be in this dream, and it's so intense, and there's people that you've known for years, but in this waking state, you've never even met them, and you feel stuff physically in your dreams, and where is that happening? Where is it? And it's hardcore real when you're in it. You wake up and it's gone. Where did it go? Where did it come from? It's the same with this. Where's it coming from? Where's it going? It's just yeah.
Okay.
Okie dokie, artichoke.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think all the questions poofed out of my head at the moment.
And that's another thing that happens. The questions disappear because there's no more knowing, or there's no more need to know. So it just...
But there's still thoughts.
Yeah.
But there's no reaction to the thoughts, or if there are reactions to the thoughts, there's that knowing that that's just what's happening.
Yeah.
So they don't weigh you, so to speak, down.
I can get weighed down by thoughts. I mean, sometimes thoughts weigh me down. And it's not, there's no more of like, it's just experienced or seen or lived, I don't know, as it's just what's happening. There's a thought and it's causing this feeling. That's it. There's no more like, and even if there was, that still is being that. So it's not right or wrong, but what appears to have happened here is that there's no more, I have to do something about this because this thought is telling me this and making me feel this, and so I need to change it. That'll still happen because that's what happens, apparently. But there's no person there anymore that's trying to control it. Yeah. Jinx, buy me a Coke. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
And it's also seen that that's what is happening everywhere.
Except there is no everywhere, because there's just right.
Yeah, but if something, this is all hypothetical, whatever, which is just coming up here. But if I engage with somebody and they are angry at me and they're telling me why they're angry at me and accusing me of whatever, it's not a personal story anymore. It's not like, oh, they think this of me because of this relationship we have and this thing that I did. It's just like, this is just appearing now. It's not seen as a separate person who's angry at this person. It's just anger appearing there, saying these things, and whatever is responding or reacting to that is just what's happening. And that's it. And this really doesn't mean shit, but what has appeared to happen in the story, which isn't real, is that a lot less of anything happens anymore, even thoughts, you know? It's just a lot quieter, and not that that's good or bad, because non-quiet and agony and anxiety is also isness, just doing that. And I wouldn't be like, if that was happening, because anything could happen, be like, oh shit, I don't have it right, or I'm not there yet, or no, it's just like, that's just what's happening. And there might not even be that awareness or that recognition of this is just what's happening. There might be a full going into what's happening and responding and saying stuff and acting stuff. And that's it. And then maybe in the reflective part of it, you know, there's no more thoughts and lingering over it, because it's just like, that's just what's happened, and now this is happening.
And once this is happening, what happened over there doesn't exist.
It doesn't. And it doesn't matter. No matter what happened over there, apparently, nothing, and it's just... So there's a lot of... there's no more... there's a lot of space, for lack of a better word, and no more intervening with life or isness. Because, you know, in the past, like, I used to think with my kid, you know, I used to really be worried, like, if he's sick or something. Now there's none of that, you know. There's
appearing.
Yeah.
But it could still appear.
There's not the obsessive compulsive, like, I gotta do something, or this is wrong, or what caused this, or whatever. It's just like, okay, this is appearing. And worry might appear as well, but it's just in that moment. It's not loaded with a bunch of should've, could've, do this, do that. It's just, okay, well, let's see. Okay, here's some medicine. Or let's take you to the doctor. Or whatever. But there's nobody in there anymore, and there never was, but controlling it or causing it, or, yeah.
And how do your loved ones feel about this, and about the fact that there's no one?
It doesn't change anything. That's the bizarre thing. It doesn't change.
And that's what has appeared. That's
yeah.
what's appearing here.
I mean,
but it doesn't necessarily mean that's what would appear for anybody else, because
anything can appear.
Anything can appear.
But there's never anyone there doing it anyway. So not a loved one that's doing it, and then seeing their loved one that's all of a sudden not doing it or not there anymore. All that's just a story. It's always what is. And so unless you actually talk about this with somebody, there's nothing to say or to see or to... And even if you do talk about it, it's still complete nonsense, because it's just, okay, whatever.
But your loved ones who aren't non-dualists, for lack of a better word, seeing it that way, to them, there's their loved one saying that they don't exist.
That's not what's happening ever.
That's never what's happening.
I've never said that I don't exist, and that there's nothing exists, because it's not true.
So, but because you say everything exists, or you say everything is, but then it also isn't, and nothing matters.
Yeah, I don't say that to my loved ones. I don't say to my child who says I have a stomach ache, like, hey, you're not even there, don't worry, nothing's real, it doesn't matter, you know? No.
And that's just what's appearing
anyway. And if I did say that, then that's just what would be appearing. But it doesn't happen.
From their point of view, who aren't seeing it for what isness is.
They are isness.
Well, yeah, but they're not seeing that. But what they're seeing as a change in you, so to speak,
I don't
isn't
even
really
know
much.
If they're even seeing a change.
Gotcha, okay.
I don't know. And if they are, what does that mean? Like...
Well, I would say it means something totally different to them than it means to
But that's
this.
just a story appearing in the moment of, like, oh, she's so different right now than she used to be, and that's just a story that's appearing, and it's just what's happening apparently, and it doesn't change anything
for the one who's a non-dualist. But for the loved ones who aren't, do you think it doesn't change anything for them? The ones
I
who
don't
still
think,
have
because
the
it's
I.
because yeah, it's such a hard thing to talk about, because it's still life or isness just happening, and there's not a before or an after, or it's just, so
But your loved ones believe there is a before and an after, because that's
right,
where they're
and
at.
that is still appears even for me, that still appears, when you go to, and people give you birthday presents, that's a, there's just not, there's no thought about it in that way, I guess, here or there, and if,
For the non-dualist,
yeah, or
for the lack of
or
better
for
words.
or here or whatever, there's no thought about it or questioning in it. If all of a sudden, a conversation came up with my husband, like, I want to know what's going on in your brain because you're like so drastically different, then that's just what would be happening. It wouldn't be him doing it or me responding. It's just would be arising.
But to him, it's him doing it.
There
and
is,
you responding.
no,
is
it's
what I'm
not,
saying.
because the him is also isness. See,
Right, but he doesn't believe that. He hasn't seen
but
that
it doesn't
yet.
matter that he hasn't. It doesn't matter that I have. It's still just what's happening, and it doesn't. There's still nobody doing anything or nobody knowing something that somebody else knows, because there is no knowing. It's just it's appearing that somebody here who sees there's no separate I that has any control of anything or doership, and somebody there that thinks they do. It's still the same thing appearing as that. So it doesn't mean anything, and it doesn't change anything. It's just what's happening.
Well, but it means something to your loved ones who aren't seeing isness for what isness is.
How do you know that? What does that mean?
That's what I'm asking.
How do you?
I'm asking that. That's what I'm asking.
I don't think that's a thing. I don't think that's a thing. I think it means something to your loved ones that think they are in a separate I. That's just a story that's hypothetically coming up now. I don't know. I can't really say anything about that. Besides all the BS I've already said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Ready for some food now? Is that what's appearing?
That's a good thought. All right, well, how long have we gone? 42 minutes. I mean, not that there's a time schedule or anything, but
Because time
just
doesn't
curious.
exist anyways.
I know. What did that feel like? I have no clue.
No.
No clue what that felt like.
Me neither.
5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 42 minutes. I don't know.
There was no...
See, that's...
There's no feeling of time for what that felt like to me.
Yeah.
No.
So it's... I don't know. I know you've done LSD before, and so have I. And one of the things that happens with LSD, at least here, is this, like, I think LSD is like a key into falling into this, which is literally falling into this. You're just falling into infinity all the time. That's all it is, which is ungraspable and ununderstandable. But anyway, when LSD kicks in, I start to feel that, like, the boundaries start to melt away, and it's like, yeah, there's a tree here and I'm here, but it's one. And one of the things, that can be a serious mindfuck and like a scary thing. And I know that one of the things that got me through many LSD trips is that it's going to end soon. It's going to take a few hours, probably more hours than I would like it to. And I've had fun on that stuff, but still, it's just, you're so expanded, and there's this, like, anything can happen.
So out of control.
And nobody's in control. And you just, like, I can't wait for this to, like, stop and get back to earth and back to reality and go like a normal person and do your life. This is like being on LSD all the time, except the mind trip isn't there anymore, because it's just the visuals and the hallucinations aren't really there anymore, although they can appear. Anything can appear, and the fear isn't there anymore. It's just. So how could it be like if you take LSD and you're in this window of just like, whoa, life, no, and then all of a sudden the effects wear off and now you're back in control and everything's real and solid and da da. I mean, how does that make any sense? I mean, nothing makes any sense, even this madness that I'm talking about. But it's just, those are little, I believe, little keys that are in the dream for discovering, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. I think it's time for a cocktail and
Yep.
some nachos, maybe.
Close it up.
All right. This is probably the first one going up. I don't know where, I don't know when, but thanks for joining.
Yep.
Thanks for joining.
Yay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.